Hey guys, Shinchi42 here. Today we're going to be talking about Talent 2.0. Now we have standardized this Talent 2.0 so that it would help a lot of the players having an easy build to do that is going to be very beneficial. Now we're not going to go in depth on these Talent 2.0 in this video because it's going to take forever. What we're going to be doing is we're going to create some series on where we're going to be talking about these Talent 2.0 per sectional. So if it's going to be like these, like for this example, leadership conquering guide, we're going to go in depth on this on another video. So if you subscribe, you'll get the notifications once I upload. This is a simplified guide and majority of the commanders here have a pattern. Now in Talent 1.0, we saw the same concept. And here, they never really changed the skills of the commanders, so that's why we're able to build a simplified pattern guide. Just so you guys know, this channel is a Rise of Civilizations official partner, meaning that they have hand-chosen this channel to create content for their game. So let's build some foundational knowledge. Once you've reached level 60 with your commander, meaning at its max level, you will have 74 talent points. Now we're going to be showing you guys some of the guys here that will have 74 talent points, but there will be some that will be an exception to this rule. In addition to that, remember that when you are sending commanders out, only the primary commander's talent is going to take effect, and the secondary commander's talent will not be taking into an effect, meaning that they're not going to contribute whatever talent that they have. Only their skills will be contributed to the primary commander. If you guys want to be an attacker in the field and a point person for rallying with your commanders Julius Caesar, Scipio Africanus, Hannibal Barca, this leadership conquering guide is going to be the best option for your build. As you guys can see, we have marked in red the leadership path, and it says there it's going to cost you about 47 talent points. And when you go into the yellow side, it's going to cost you 27 talent points. So with the yellow side, as you guys can see, there is a green and red there. So if you want to build into the defensive side, it would cost you still 27 talent points total just to get that path. And if you want to get into the attacker path, it's going to be the same concept. You would have to have an option here to decide whether you want to go into the defensive side or the attacker side. So choose your path wisely. It depends on your playing style. And I'm giving you guys flexibility and option here where I'm just guiding you guys to what type of build that you can potentially have. I want to make an addition here. I did forget to put Frederick 1. He is also in this classification that you can build with the leadership conquering guide. Leadership attacker guide is going to be the most beneficial for you if you're looking into the PvP fighting in the field, not against cities. Now this guide will also be very helpful if you're setting up barbarian fort rallies. Now, as you guys can see, I have marked in red all the talents for the leadership path, and it would cost you 47 talent points to complete this. And if you guys have not noticed, the last talent in this leadership path is what it's going to do is it's going to increase the attack damage of your rallied army once you have this talent. So it is going to be very beneficial for you whenever you set a barbarian fort rallies. Now let's talk about the attacker side. I have colored it in orange and it says 27 talent points, and also I have created an arrow there and saying that if you have Scipio Africanus, you should definitely max this talent because this is a counter attack damage bonus. And what you guys can do for Scipio Africanus is just add 2 talents on the fight till the end. It's going to be that double sword on the upper talent in this tree. So if you have Julius Caesar or Hannibal Barca, you can just put 2 talents on that side where I put an arrow, which is going to be completely fine. This leadership attacker guide is going to be beneficial for you if you want to be the person who sets up rallies to attack the alliance buildings. Conquering hybrid guide, this is going to be very beneficial if you're going to be attacking Governor City, if you're going to be setting up rallies. This is the talent guides for you. So as you guys can see, I've marked in yellow for the conquering side. 40 talent points is what you're going to need to finish that, and then 23 talent points marked in red for the leadership path. And attacker path is going to be 11 talent points. So I've marked it out and mapped it out for you guys. What are the most important talents that you are going to need for this conquering hybrid guide? Skilled leadership guide for Frederick, and we've marked in the red circles for the leadership path. 25 talent points. We've focused on increasing the troop capacity, enhancing the healing of Frederick, also enhancing some of the rage capability for Frederick. And as you guys can see, there is a yellow circle there. We're only going to put 1 talent points there. It's going to increase the attack bonus. In the skills pad, you guys can see we've circled this in the orange. You will need 48 talent points to complete this. Cavalry skill guide. This talent is going to be focusing on Minamoto no Yoshitsune. My approach here is all about moving speed if you're going to use him as a primary commander. So you can use this as a full cavalry unit for Minamoto. As you guys can see, I have marked the cavalry side red, and it's going to be 33 talents, and we have some optional stuff there in purple. If you want to go to the right side, it's going to be the defensive side. If you want to go to the left side, it's going to be more of an attacker side. And as you can see, in the peacekeeping talent, we have an optional there too. It's going to be increasing moving speed. Now, in the skill guide, it's going to be 35 talent points, and I've mapped out the best talents that you guys could have there. And there is another one optional here. It's going to be the pink colored one. Again, that's going to be a moving speed. It's going to be depending on how you're going to be strategizing your optional stuff here. So just use your best judgments. We're not going to go in depth on this one because it's going to take forever. Here's a full cavalry guide for Cao Cao, Lancelot, and Dragon Lancer. Now, I've marked in red the talents that you need in the cavalry pad. As you guys can see, it would take 33 points for you guys to finish that mapping out. And in the mobility side, I marked in orange. It would take you 41 talent points to finish that route. And then 2 talent points on the bottom there. So you can see there's an arrow pointing up to that talent. You just need to put 2 talent points for that one. So guys, use your best judgment here. You know, when I first started, I didn't have a legendary commander. I didn't have Cao Cao, and I focused on Dragon Lancer, building into this full cavalry guide. Now, once you have Cao Cao, you should definitely using Cao Cao as your main commander here for the full cavalry guide. This is going to be focusing a lot in the moving speed. Attacker infantry guide. This is not going to be a full infantry guide. This is more of a mixed troop talent guide. So I've marked in the infantry would be 27 talent points, and I've mapped that out. And then in the attacking side, it's going to be 47 talent points. And there is another arrow there on the bottom. It says 2 talent points only. Now, this is going to be applicable to Ilji Mondyok and City Keeper. Now, let me tell you guys this. In the longer game, in the late game, when you're using City Keeper, this is probably not going to be very efficient talent for him. What I would suggest is go to the versatility and find a superior tool and just use him as a farmer, because in the late game, using this type of commander is going to be practically useless. So, but the Ilji Mondyok would be more efficient using this talent. Here's the full infantry guide, and I've marked down 42 talent points to complete that infantry talent pad. And in the attacker talent pad, it's going to be 32 talent points. This is going to be applicable to Ilji Mondyok and City Keeper. I do suggest that really focus this on Ilji Mondyok, and City Keeper is going to be more of a, you know, in the beginning stage of the game. But in late game, I wouldn't suggest using City Keeper. Just use him as a gatherer instead. Find that superior tool in the versatility attributes. Here's the defense infantry guide. This is going to be applicable to Charles, Martel, and Richard I. We've mapped out in the infantry talent tree there 34 talents and 40 talent points in the defensive side. This is the skill archer guide, and the commanders here are going to be Kosunoki, Yi Songye, Herman, Elcid, Markswoman. So a lot of these commanders here are very good nukers. So we're going to be focusing on the skill side, and as you guys can see, we have marked it in orange, and it's going to be 48 talent points to complete that path. Then in this archer path is going to be 26 talent points, and we've marked it in red. Here's the skill cavalry guide. Your commanders will be Pelagius and Minamoto. For Pelagius, I don't suggest building a full cavalry unit, rather build a mixed type of units for him. For Minamoto, if you're not using him as a full cavalry unit commander, use this talent build for him. So we marked on red for the cavalry, we need 26 talent points, and we've marked on orange for the skill path or the nuker path for 48 talent points. Skill infantry guide, this is only applicable to Zun 2. As you guys can see, Zun 2 is a very good nuker. Now we're going to be focusing a lot more on the skill side. So as you can see, we've marked into orange and 48 points to complete that talent for skills. And then in the infantry side, we've marked 26 talent points in the red. Skill integration guide for Boudica, really great for PvP fighting. We've marked 48 talent points that are in orange for skills, and then red's going to be the integration, 25 talent points, and we added 1 talent point in the peacekeeping. Peacekeeping skill guide for Boudica, this is going to be very beneficial for free-to-play players if they don't have Minamoto or Cao Cao as a legendary commander. Now we've marked in yellow 46 talent points under the peacekeeping, and orange 28 talent points under skills. This is going to be really good for barbarian farming or barbarian fort farmings. Peacekeeping support guide for Lohar. I highly suggest whenever you're using Lohar that you only use it for barbarian farmings or any other neutral units. Now I have marked into yellow 46 talent points in the peacekeeping, and then 28 talent points in the support. Now in this 28 talent points, we're targeting the rapid rage recovery. You guys might wonder why we're adding this expert design for Lohar. So it's going to be increasing the siege unit's health, attack, and defense. Now, some of you guys may not agree with me on this, and that's totally fine. You guys should try a different pattern for that. But when you're attacking Sanctum Guardians or Guardians at all, you're required to send out siege units because that is going to be the most effective units for you. Now, support integration guide, as you guys can see, the commanders here are going to be Joan of Arc and Cleopatra. We've marked in red circles are the integration talents. You're going to be needing 43 talents there, and as you guys can see, I've drawn on the top. You only need 3 talents for that talent on the top talent. And if you look in the orange circles on the support pad, you only need 31 talents to finish this. Now this you're capturing is the rapid rage recovery. What this does is going to speed up the AoE buff of Joan of Arc and speed up the casting of the AoE heal for Cleopatra. So this is going to be really beneficial for the support commanders. Here is the gatherer guide. This is the simplest talent guide that I have here. Now the commanders that are going to be applicable for this will be Joan of Arc, Sarka, Gaius Marius, Constance, Centurion, and Cleopatra. Now, I'm not a big fan of using this with Joan of Arc. I like using Joan of Arc with the integration support talent pad. Now, it depends on your playing style, how you guys are going to do this, but it's going to be good for you guys to use her as a gatherer as well. Now, with Cleopatra, I do suggest using her as a gatherer. And as you guys could see, we have these commanders in the game that are lower level than the epic rarity level that are gatherers. So I do suggest to make them as a gatherer right away. And also when you're looking at this talent, you guys can see there are some blank spots there. I do suggest that if you want to add those, if you're getting attack really in the resource points, is to implement those talents. But if not, there's really no point. Don't waste your leveling up your commanders for this. Now we've already implemented or added the talents that are going to be really be focusing on gathering itself. So this is going to be very beneficial for you and your gatherers, and you're going to be so successful in getting or gaining more resources with this talent. Skilled Garrison Defender guide. The commanders here are Yi Song-ye, Zuntu, Kosunoki, Pelagius, and Herman. Now the reason why it's called Skilled Garrison Defender is because majority of these commanders, or all of these commanders, are actually nukers. Now we've put into the yellow circles as the talent guides for the garrison. 48 talent points is what you're going to be needing, and the orange would be the skill, which is 26 talent points. And I've marked down an arrow there that you only need 2 talent points for that one specific talent. Yulji Garrison Hybrid Build. Now, Yulji is a very good garrison defender, and we did a video about the best duos of the garrison commanders, and I'm going to put a card up there and you guys can check that link out. Now, we mark in the yellow circles 48 talent points for the garrison's talents, and in the attacker we have 20 talent points marked in the orange circles, and red circles would be 6 talent points total getting into that infantry talent. So those are the very crucial talents that we need to have when you are going to be using Yulji as a garrison defender. Garrison defense guide, your commanders would be Richard I and Charles Martel. Now these 2 legendary commanders are going to be your best options to defend your garrison. So on the yellow circles, we've put in the 48 talent points when you complete that, and the orange circles would be costing you about 26 talent points. Now I've put an arrow there so you guys can see that talent only requires 2 talents, so that should be very sufficient for your build. Thank you for watching. I hope this video is going to help you propel to your success in this game. Now, I encourage you guys to try out different types of build, experiment on it depending on your playing styles. Now, guys, our channel started with like less than 100 subscribers, and I'm so grateful for you guys that you guys have subscribed. and showed some love to this channel. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I really love creating content for you guys. I really want to say thank you very much, guys. Maraming salamat. 谢谢你们. Je vous remercie. Danke dir. Kokon. Terima kasih. Dhanyavad. Kam omben. Gracias and grazie. So guys, until we meet again in the next videos.